442, 450.
Well, I kept my job as a police officer mainly because of the benefits that I get from my job. I get free medical, I get free dental, I get free life insurance, and all of these things that I just named off. None of that stuff comes from bodybuilding. But another one of the most important things that I also get from keeping my job with the police department is a retirement. And I can retire in 20 years and still have a check coming in from the police department. Whereas in bodybuilding, none of the things I just named you don't get. None of the benefits you don't get from it. So that's pretty much why I kept my job. And plus it allows for a great balance in my life. You know, I'm just not one-sided. I'm not just doing one thing. I'm also keeping myself busy, taking my mind off, you know, so like bodybuilding, you know, you might get tired, you might get stressed out from it, just thinking about if you're going to have enough money for this or enough for that. But also, you know, if something happens to me, you know, I don't have to worry about that either. Or if I get hurt, seriously injured in bodybuilding, you know, I don't get a check from disability or from workers' comp. But, you know, with my job as a police officer, if something happens, I always still have that check coming in. So it takes a lot of stress off you, and it gives you that balance. That's pretty much why I kept my job. And I always keep it.
Feel what I'm doing?
Pushing your hip. Yeah.
Feel that?
What are you doing?
She's going like this.
Feel that?
Yeah.
All I'm doing is pushing my hips back like that. I'm not sticking my butt out. I'm not going like this. I'm tensing out like that as hard as I can. Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. If you do that.
As far as using other people to help me, I'm one that firmly believe in, hey, you never can stop learning. You can always learn. And I always listen to other people. I always keep an open mind. You can only make yourself better by doing that. People don't become smart just by just thinking to themselves that, hey, I'm smart because I'm just smart. You become smart because you listen to other people teach you what you need to know. And the only way for me to know what I need to know is by listening to other people. And I listen to other people when they tell me, hey, you need to work on your posing, you need to work on the way you stand, you need to work on your training. When I say that, like my calves, when people tell me, you know, I need to get my calves big, I listen to all of that kind of stuff, and I go out and I put 100% in everything I do, because I figure like this, I'm not in this just to be doing something. I want to be the best at whatever I do, even if I don't win all the time. As long as I know that I did my best, I put my all into it, and I gave it my all, I'm satisfied. So that's why when somebody tells me that, hey, you need to work on this, I always keep an open mind, and I go out and I work on it, and I try to become better at it. Every year I'm in bodybuilding, my goal is to do better than last year. I said last year, whatever I did, I expected to do better next year, and I expected to be better. Since I've been bodybuilding, I've gained at least 5 to 10 and sometimes 15 pounds every year. And this year is no different. I've put on another 5 to 10, 15 pounds again. And what I expect, you know, when I go into what my goal is when I go into the show is, say I did 6, I actually played 7th last year, barring that Nasser flunked the test. So my goal this year is to do better than 7th. So, you know, I don't expect to win or nothing like that. My goal is to do something realistic. I always set realistic, real short-term goals, and for this year, my goal is to place better than 7th. That's my goal.
Wait. Last notch. Wait. Yep. Wait.
Run it.
Keep. Lightweight, baby.
20. That's a 1-inch vein.
Woo! Shit. Lightweight, baby. Yep.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
Get him?
This is a good warm-up exercise. Okay, come on, Ricky. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. What did you eat this morning, Ricky?
I just had coffee and grilled cheese sandwich.
And this morning, oatmeal, a couple of chicken breasts. Actually, 2 chicken breasts, oatmeal was fine. To give you an honest answer, I don't think that the judging panel changed any kind from last year to this year. The only reason why Flex Wheeler won the spring contest, why he beat me, why I lost against him, was because of a simple reason. He was in several areas just sharper than I was. With one word, he was harder. But I don't think if I would have been in top shape, like for example last year at the Olympia, that he would have beaten me. But on the other side, he deserved to win because he was just sharper. And then I've heard a lot of people have been saying the symmetrical bodies are winning shows now and then placing ahead of the non-symmetrical, more massive guys. But I like to repeat once again that this year not too many so-called massive guys competed. Milos won the contest, Cormier won the contest, and Flex won the contest, but the only reason why they won is not only because they've been in top shape, but the other reason is also because they haven't been big guys there like me, Dillett, then for example also Dorian, and that's the reason. To make it short, I don't think the judging panel was changing or changed. I think that the guys in the best physical condition won the shows, and that's all right with me. So next time stepping on stage, I don't think it matters if I'm 260, 270, 280, as long as I'm in top condition. That's actually the basic statement which I like to do. For example, if shorter guys like Shawn or Lee Priest are not in top condition, I think the same happens to them, and you can't say then that the bigger guys won because they're bigger. So I think a case of conditioning and to be at the right time ready. I think that Darren Yates is 5 times Mr. Olympia is already a kind of plus by entering the contest, because like I said, he won already the Olympia 5 times, and when you go as a Mr. Olympia in a show, you're already 15 or I would say almost 20% ahead of the others. So it's a pretty good advantage for him. If I would be Mr. Olympia, I would probably have the same advantage. So I can't criticize him because of this. What I think in general is that he has won politically the contest already this year, but not physically. And I am also convinced if he doesn't show up in best condition ever, he won't be the winner this year, because the crowd is coming closer and closer to him, and some guys are even bigger than he is, some guys have even the same sharpness that he has, so he's not the ultimate guy who was actually kind of a couple of years called. So he's beatable, he's not invincible, he's just a human being like I am and the others are. So I think if he's not ready, he can be defeated this year. And to come back to that case that the contest is in the near of here of my hometown San Diego, I don't think that this is any kind of big advantage. I would travel to Siberia or to Russia somewhere else if I would have better chances to win the contest. I think it doesn't matter so much where you're competing, because the guys are mostly the same who are competing, depends only on conditioning. So with one word, I don't think that I have a big advantage because I'm competing here. Sometimes, on some days you feel that you're really on, and some days you feel that you're not really on. So I can't make any kind of prediction how I'll be looking at the day of the show, or one day out or one day after, because the physique is not a machine, and so you can't predict 100% what will be happening. But I'm pretty confident that I will be in shape. I don't know what my exact weight will be, or how ripped or not ripped, how I will be appear on stage, but I think I'm right on target, and we'll see what will be happening at this year's Olympia in Long Beach. I'm now the 5th time in row qualified for the Olympia, but entering the fourth time, the Olympia 93, I didn't enter it. So we have this year 97, and like I was saying before, and I was also stating in several articles, most of the time I don't train for training partner, but when I have the opportunity to train with one of the pros, like for example if it's Shawn or Lee Priest or Ian Harrison or any one of the top athletes whom I really like to train, then I take the chance. Or in that case, I was training the last couple of weeks and months with my friend and training partner Ricky Penn, who's sitting here and eating actually the pancakes. He's really enjoying himself, but I think he deserves it because he's ready and available for me all the time, in the morning, in the evenings, on the weekends, and he's very supportive and helpful. I think when you have somebody like that, then you should take advantage of it. It's not only that he helps me out, but I help him also in the other way. So we are actually in the moment a pretty good team. And like I said, if you have one who actually fits to your schedule, then you should stay with the same person. If not, you should go by yourself and train alone. Let's go meet have breakfast. This is my breakfast, you know. Glass of water. It's his breakfast. His breakfast. You can have breakfast maybe in 10 days, hopefully. Thank you. Okay. Well, maybe I will. Yep. Okay, the breakfast of champion. 3 chicken breasts, plain, done in the oven. About a cup, maybe a little more than a cup of white rice. So maybe I probably have about 50 grams of carbs right now. Protein, about I would say 105 grams of protein. And fats, I have a total of about 15 grams of fat. So
that's the balance right there. You have protein, carbohydrates, and fats. This is avocados, you know, mushed up. Also gives it flavor. And I add a little bit of paste picante salsa just to give it a little bit of flavor. Now, it's still 10 days out, so I'm still got my sodium in. I'm actually eliminating it, you know, little by little by little by little each day. I keep taking it down a little more. By Monday, right now my sodium is about 2,000 milligrams. By Monday, I'd figure to be right around maybe 1,800. Then by Wednesday, I'll probably be at about 500, because it's actually near impossible to eliminate your sodium totally, because even chicken, the fresh chicken, still has some sodium. Steak still has some sodium, but that's all natural. So, you know, it's my first meal and I'm starving, so I'm gonna get to it. Big truck for a big man. Well, this is it. It's my little gym, strictly for personal training. You know, it's 2,000 square feet. Has like about 28 pieces of equipment. You know, this is more geared towards this neighborhood that I live in. You know, Laguna Niguel. Most of the people around here are middle class, upper middle class people who they have the money and they can afford something like this, or someone who don't want to go to, you know, a big gym with a lot of crowd, or they just don't know what to do. So they come here. I've been open, what, 2 months now? We got about 40 clients. This is my office. You can tell I like it. I like everything dark. You know, the chair, the desk, the computer, everything, the phone, you know. So this is where I spend most of my days these days, in this little office, you know, just trying to make a buck. 12 workout will cost you $780, and that only lasts for 1 month. A 20 pack, which is 20 workouts, is $1,100. And that will last you anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks. So after that period, you need to renew it again. Where now I have my own little business. It's mine, you know. All my equipment is paid for, you know. So bodybuilding is something that I enjoy doing it. I love what I do, but, you know, God forbid something happens tomorrow. You know, I don't need bodybuilding anymore. If you give me a contract and say, here, sign this, I can read it, look it over, and if it's not what I want, I can say, no, here, take your contract and shove it, you know, because I don't need it. I have my own thing now, you know, and I think that's what most guys in the business should strive for, is to have their own little business. I mean, you know, you may never be a millionaire, or you may never make $1 million, but you have something that is yours, and no one can take it away. You don't have to worry about if I don't place in the top 10 of Mr. Olympia, you know, they're gonna take my business away. No, 6, top 5, 3, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is still gonna be here for me, you know. So that makes me so much more relaxed going into this year's Mr. Olympia. You know, that pressure is off. Where, you know, you constantly have that pressure of, you know, always have to prove yourself. It doesn't matter how well you did last year or the year before. They judge you by how well you do in the last contest, you know, and that means the Mr. Olympia, you know. I mean, they don't realize that. everyone is entitled to an off day. But in our business, if you have an off day, you know, either they cut your contract down, or they cut it completely, you know.
After this, gotta finish up with some hyperextension for my lousy back. Hey, nobody's perfect, okay? Then, yes, a black man is going tan. This is not my natural color. I've been tanning for 5 weeks now, okay? So we do have to tan.
10 days before the Mr Olympia Contest 1997. I come here to Venice from the last 2 weeks. I train in Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym is the best gym in the world. I'm very happy I can come here. Thank you, Ed Connors from Gold's Gym. In 10 days, I think in this year I make top 6 minimum. I think top 6. This is a very realistic. And next year the Mr Olympia come to Europe. You see, in Europe I win this contest. Bye.
All right, you guys ready to rock and roll? We're at Powerhouse Gym out here in Fullerton, California, where I train. Come on in, I'll show you how we do it.
Three, 4, one more. 15. Stay there. 3, 4, 20.
Gotta go nice and slow. Use the weight you can handle. Stretch and squeeze, just like size and shape, baby. Gotta have all the components if you want to build a big chest. Let's go. 4, 5. You guys notice anything different this year? I said last year we had a rabbit and we had a tiger. The rabbit's not here. This year we got the tiger, Richard Longwith. He went on to win the Mr. Orange County middleweight and the Mr. California middleweight. So not only do I have a tendency to find the right kind of training partners, but they're champions too. We trained with Flex Wheeler this year. He won all 3 shows, the Ironman, the Arnold Classic, and the San Jose. So we're 5 for 5. I'm about to make it 6 for 6. Notice Flex ain't here though. He probably won his last show. Probably wonder why I'm so quiet. It's not my birthday. We're a couple days late this year. But the focus is just the same. The training was just as hard. I told a lot of people last year in the magazines, second place sucks. Believe me, I had to live with that for a solid year. And it does. It sucks. So this year we're coming back to number 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, come on. 3, 4, 15, let's go. 5 more, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Powerhouse Gym, the only place you can throw your weights around. Let's do some biceps. I always think of one thing when I'm training. Stuck in my head since 1988, I believe it was. Lee Haney said, stimulate, don't annihilate. That's what bodybuilding is. You gotta stimulate the muscle, not try to kill it, but jerking it and swinging it using too heavy a weight. So we're just trying to get a little stimulation today. One, 2, 3, 4. Just thinking about the yo. 1 week from now, I'm trying to reach my final destination. Get that long-awaited Super Bowl of bodybuilding trophy, the Sandow Trophy. I've been training for 10 years for this show. 1987, I turned pro at the Nationals. 1988, I made my pro debut over there at Universal at the Mr Olympia. Was 14th on my 22nd birthday. This year I'm coming back as the #1 bodybuilder in America, #2 in the world. It's 30 minutes from my hometown of Placentia, held in Long Beach in front of a home crowd, so This one has special significance for me. Knowing that I did my homework, I'm about 5 pounds heavier than I was last year. I trained since January. We started out training with Flex for his 3 shows, and Flex's shows were over, and then Richard's shows came up. His shows are over, and now mine's here, so.
You haven't stopped.
We've had a really good training year with some serious focus, so that's where my head's at. It's on September 19th. I guess after getting second at last year's Mr. Olympia and having such good reviews, I think the only thing I really did differently was that I started a little bit earlier. I had the advantage of bringing the enemy into my backyard and seeing him up close and training and pushing him, and that's Flex Wheeler. He was getting ready for the Ironman Arnold and the San Jose show, needed a training partner. I needed a good sparring partner. And our training styles were different, although I think he benefited a little bit more from it than I did because he was on a diet. I was more like the energizer, the motivator, and I pushed him to his limits. I brought his weight back down to a respectable weight because he kept trying to compete at a weight that was too heavy for him. And in doing that, I watched the evolution of his physique. I watched him go from this 265-pound puffy off-season bodybuilder into a 224-pound almost piece of perfection, and watching him go through it and pushing him and encouraging him, I was seeing a lot of myself 6 months down the road what I would have to go through. The difference is that Flex needed someone to push him, spar with him, make him do the extra rep, make him do the extra exercise, whereas I'm a self-motivator. I don't necessarily need that. And I was kind of like the Mickey in the Rocky movie, you know. I was like, come on, give me another rep, give me another set. And he would do it, and he would do it willingly because he wanted to win and he wanted to improve. And I think that playing that role, which I've never really played before, gave me an insight to what I was going to have to do in June and July and August, which is rely on myself to become better than I was in 1996. And watching Flex go into those 3 shows, win all 3 of them, get back to the winning form, I felt like I was part of the winning combination. I felt like this is what victory is all about. And although the Arnold Classic and the Ironman and the San Jose could never compare to winning the Mr. Olympia, being on a winning team does a lot for your confidence. So immediately after those 3 shows, my alliance with Flex Wheeler broke off because, of course, he went on tour, and then when it was time for him to get ready to start training for the Olympia, I was already in my Olympia training mode, training with Richard, so he could do the Orange County and the Mr. California, 2 contests that he won both shows. And so I was training competitively since December of 96, getting ready for the Mr. Olympia in September of 97, and not really having the time to relax and rest on my laurels of fighting with Flex all the way to the contest, and then having to fight with Richard all the way to his contest. And of course, when his contest was over in the first weekend of May, it was my turn. And I'm like a warrior. I like to do it alone. Flex was nowhere to be found. Richard was on vacation, and now it's my turn. And I really like that because I put the pressure on myself to suddenly take my physique from ground zero to what I felt I had to improve on and become perfect. And I don't know if my physique is perfect, but it's perfect for Shawn Ray. It's the best I could do with what I have to work with. And a lot of people positively gave me feedback that last year there was absolutely nothing wrong with my physique. If there's anything different between me and Dorian, it's the fact that Dorian's a bigger bodybuilder and taller. But when it comes down pose for pose, head to toe, front to back, there's some flaws in his armor that I exploited. And that's the whole key at the Mr. Olympia, is that I wanted to bring the attention away from the champion's strong points and his strengths and exploit his weaknesses. And I think I did a pretty good job last year. The magazines certainly think so. The fans were definitely cheering for me. And size and shape is the combination that I walked away from that contest with. And people said that's the winning combination, is size and shape. size for the sake of size shouldn't be the main criteria, and I think last year I exploited that to the maximum. So this year, the only main difference is I got about 4 or 5 extra months of competition training. I got about 5 pounds more of muscle, and I'm still riding high, convinced that I did the best I could do last year. No, maybe last year my best wasn't good enough in the eyes of the few judges that judged that contest, but after I went on tour and around the world and around the country, I came to realize that my best was more than good enough to win that show, maybe with a different panel of judges. So the bittersweet taste of taking second place in the Mr. Olympia was slowly turned into a positive reinforcement that I did everything right, I did everything I could do. People were pleased with the product that I put up there. And the main thing was that I was pleased, because there was nothing I would have changed, and there's nothing that I thought I should have changed with the package I put on stage last year. So last year being last year, and this year being this year, injury-free, more time to prepare, 5 pounds heavier, equally motivated, and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and recognizing the weaknesses in the champion's armor, I'm ready to exploit it to its fullest. And in 1 week, I'll find out what the champion is really made of, and hopefully he'll come to the stage with his best product, because it's been 11 years, actually it's been 12 years since Mr. Olympia was defeated on stage. The year I graduated high school in 1984 was the year that Lee Haney won his first Mr. Olympia, beating Samir Banu. It hasn't been done since, and I always knew that somehow before my career was over, that if I was ever going to win the Mr. Olympia, I was going to take the title from the reigning champion. I didn't want to inherit it by retirement. I didn't want to win it by default, meaning the champion gets injured and couldn't compete. I wanted to go to the Mr. Olympia, and I saw myself doing this, going to the Mr. Olympia and taking the title from the champion, and there would be no ifs, ands, buts about the competition. So the stage is set. I'm 32 years old. My weight is right where it needs to be. I'm 213 pounds, and we got 14 of the world's best bodybuilders, and basically it's going to come down to the best man winning the competition. I feel I stand just as good a chance as anyone. My confidence is really high because I'm pleased with what I see in the mirror. I'm happy with what I put forth in the gym, and it's good to read the fan letters and the support that they give me, recognizing that bodybuilding is more than just size, and also identifying the fact that I have more than enough size for a guy at 5'7". And I've always said that my impact on the sport would be felt once I won the Mr. Olympia. I have a lot of plans for this title, and if I can take that title, I'd like to do a lot of things with it and set a precedent so that the guy that follows me as Mr. Olympia will have his work cut out to raise the visibility and popularity of the sport. Right now, I'm probably more motivated in taking the title and exploiting the world of bodybuilding to the general public and the masses in the form of commercialism, whether it's trying to do commercials, trying to get into TV or film, or just being seen at different avenues, places you wouldn't ordinarily find Mr. Olympia other than the gym. I want to commercialize that, and the only way that I think I can do it is by getting the trophy. And that's why I train so hard, that's why I stay so focused, that's why I'm so dedicated, is because the things our current champion is not doing right now are the things that motivate me to take that trophy away even more so. And if it happens come September 19th and 20th, I think bodybuilding won't be the same. It won't be the same, but it will be better. And that is my motivation, it's my destiny, and I firmly believe that if I don't win the competition come September 19th and 20th, I should lose to the better guy. And when I look back over my competition and my career and my preparation, I don't think there's anybody better. And I'm fully convinced that I've got everything it takes to win this competition. Hit a few poses, see where I'm at, you know, like an artist has to look at his painting. You know, you paint a little bit, you step back, you look at it from different angles, see what you need to add or subtract, whether you need to do a little more cardio, increase your carbohydrates, play around with your sodium or your water. I consider myself an artist. So let's see where we're at. Legs.
1, 2, 3.
No, let's just.
Sit him.
Oh no.
Double bicep. Relax. Not spread. Good. Relax. Side chest. It's good. Tricep. That's it. Okay, let's go. Hold it right there. Squeeze. Look at the hamstring. Let's go. Up, open it. Squeeze it. Perfect. Legs are looking real grainy. Hold it. Relax. Blow it out. Right there. Straighten it. That's good. That's it.
See you September 19th.
Ready yet, Irvin?
Been training now for about 11 years. You know, the first couple of years I weren't too serious. I was just sort of, you know, you lift weights and done a few competitions. But now, probably 7 years super seriously, and then professional. I've been competing about, I think it's my 4th year in the pro ranks. So, you know, it's good that the Olympia's here in LA, so I haven't got too far to travel. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see what happens. Not really, because, you know, it's not really up to us. We're going to look the best we can look, and you know, some people prefer the taller bodybuilder with the longer lines, and some prefer the, you know, shorter, freakier type. So I can only do my best, and you know, I might be short, like 5'4", but the muscle mass I carry just as much muscle mass as someone 5'11", 6 foot. So you know, it's up to the judges what they want and what they're looking for. But you know, I can only come in my best shape, which I will be, and then it's out of my hands after that. You know, the training I take serious, dieting I take serious, but contests I just take as fun, you know. I manage to do contests for the fans and just to get their reaction and go and meet them and let them see us on stage, you know. People take contests too serious, which I never do, you know. I just enjoy the training, so if I didn't compete it wouldn't bother me, and that's it. But, you know, I just enjoy it, and I like seeing all the fans there, so it should be fun.
Well, first of all, here in the United States and probably in most of the countries in Europe, nobody can really pronounce my name. They always ask me how you pronounce, your name. My first name is Milos, and last name is Sarcev. However, everywhere in the United States and in Europe also, they call me many other names: Mitso, Milo, Milos, and so on. But my real name is Milos. I'm Yugoslavian. I won Yugoslavian championship back in 1986 and 87. I turned pro in 1991, and probably most of the people that follow bodybuilding know I did 47 shows in the last 7 years. I have 9 more shows to go this year and next month, so that's going to probably be record-breaking, like 56 competitions in 7 years. The reason I was doing this is because most of the people said before it's impossible to peak, show after show, month after month, and I just wanted to prove them wrong. And I really believe if you're dedicated and disciplined, you can do it. It's just a matter of dedication, that you're gonna set your mind to it and go ahead and compete. This year for Olympia, after 2 years of resting, I decided to compete, mostly because I believe that right now is the time for change. Flex Wheeler winning 3 shows this spring, and then myself winning Canada and Chris Cormier, Night of the Champions. I believe there is a little bit, trend towards a more aesthetically pleasing looking, symmetrical, proportionate physiques, more than just muscle mass freaks. Me as a bodybuilder, I have to say that I do admire very much so all those champions, Dorian especially, Nasser, Jean-Pierre Fuchs, Mike Francois, and Paul Dillett, all the monsters. And I just believe that bodybuilding is a little bit more than just plain muscle mass building. Mike Francois said in last year's Olympia that's what bodybuilding means. I would disagree with this. I do believe that all of us start bodybuilding for one purpose: to look good, to be satisfied with the way we look. And I achieved that look, and I really wouldn't want to change my physique with anyone else. But I do have to say that I respect all those big monsters, because I know how much dedication and hard work is going into making so much muscle mass. So anyway, to go back to the point, this year I'm competing again at Olympia, hoping that I can break the top 6 for the first time. I competed 4 times already, and this is my 5th Olympia. And this is solely on that fact that I believe that right now we have that new fresh wave need for aesthetically pleasing physiques to come on top, because I think for mainstream public, for general audience, they would probably like to see more realistic physiques. When I started back in '91, Lee Haney was considered a monster. He was 5'11", competing 245 pounds, and he was unthinkably big. Since then, Dorian set a new standard, and now there are a few guys to follow. And Nasser is probably pushing that limit, even more right now. I believe he's going to compete somewhere about 280 at the same height of 5'11", which I really don't think it's even humanly possible. However, he achieved it, so somebody says this is progress. However, I think that it's going in the wrong direction, and I can say that even 5'11", 240 pounds that I'm right now, I don't feel comfortable being this big. So I hope they're going to change the criteria this year. You see, there's so many great champions nowadays. Just going to Olympia, competing, among the top in the world, it's very respectful, and I would have to say I respect all the guys that made it there. A lot of professionals aiming to qualify for Olympia year after year, and they can never achieve that. And I have to say that all the 15 guys that are competing this year are top professionals. Now we all have to be confident and believe in our abilities to place high, and to have that self-confidence that we have what it takes. However, because of inconsistent judging criteria, we really don't know which way they're gonna go. And I would just like to mention an example that last year we had apples and oranges in top 10, one after another, like Dorian winning first place, Shawn being second, and Nasser third. We have extremely big muscle mass monster beating small symmetrical guy, monster being third, and then small symmetrical flex, and so on and so on. I think what we really need is to get answers from top officials and judges what bodybuilding really is, what they're looking for, and that normal answer that they always have, just best physique of the day. The total package really doesn't mean much to us, because we have a lot of genetically gifted guys that come into the shape, into the contest in poor condition, and they're being awarded because of their name or their genetic potential, but really condition would be really poor. Then we have guys that come into extremely good condition, and because of that they sacrifice some muscle mass. They're usually penalized, for actually achieving that ultra shredded look. I would have to say that Dorian is actually the solely one example, but maybe Shawn also in that category, that every time he competes he comes in 100% of his shape, and condition is just unbelievable. I have to say that he did set that new standard, and everybody really keeps following there. Right now, a week before the show, I'm exactly 240 pounds. My condition is on target, as you know, because I compete so often. I know how to measure my condition so many days out. I did 4 photo shoots in the last 3 days. It will mess me up, and I believe I'm going to have next 5 days to change my principle and do a little bit things differently, just to come in my 100% top shape for Olympia. I'm very pleased, I'm satisfied. I think that I'm going to present my best physique and condition yet this year at Mr. Olympia.
Dugani. I'm the one who trained Kevin for this show this year. I think he's in the best shape of his whole career. What we did, we went back to basics, old school, training hard, no playing around, no hanging out, no partying, no nothing. He got real serious for this show because it's time for a change. And I think he got the body to do it this year. When you get there, everybody see him, they're gonna realize that he was serious this time than the last time.
Approximately 9 days before the Olympia, I was involved in a carjacking where 2 cars pulled up one car on each side of me, and 2 people got out of the car. On the driver's side, one young man had a gun, and on the passenger side, the other guy had some martial arts sticks that are called screamer sticks. The person with the gun pointed it at me and told me to exit the car. I got out. I took my keys with me. I'd already decided in my head that I wasn't going to let this happen. I got out of the car, I took my keys with me, I locked the door. That pissed them off. The guy in the passenger car, the side of the car, yelled at me, you know, to throw him the keys. I threw the keys at him. He missed them. That, you know, kind of startled him. I did it on purpose. I didn't have intentions on just giving them to him. That startled him. At that time, the guy that had the gun, you know, that distracted him, and he looked over to see what happened. And when I seen that it distracted him, I grabbed the gun. We fought, and I don't want to get into what happened between, you know, me and the 2 people, because I don't feel that it's important. Basically, the outcome of it was, you know, I sustained some injuries. They both sustained more serious injuries than I did, to the point where they didn't have a need for a car anymore. When I left, the 2 people were still down. I don't know the extent of their injuries, or, you know, whether they are doing all right or not. I didn't really care at the time. So I went home. I talked to my wife about it. She tried to talk me into going to the hospital. I refused to. I took some pain pills, and I pretty much passed out until the next afternoon, which makes it now Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon, she had to rush me to the hospital because I was in a lot of pain and I was swollen. I was in the hospital for a few hours. They treated me. There was a police report taken and everything. I left the hospital. I took the cast off that they had, and I made my decision that, you know, at that time I was 7 days away from the contest, and I wasn't going to give in to anything stopping me. So I increased the amount of Vicodin that they told me to take, which, you know, enabled me not to feel anything. I went to the gym Saturday just to see how I felt down here by my house where nobody knew me, and I did a couple hours of cardio and I felt okay. So Sunday I went into Venice and I trained with Charles Glass. Monday I trained again with Charles Glass, and I posed for Mitsuru in a magazine while I trained. But later that evening, I don't know, be it an adverse effect of the Vicodin or just whatever, for whatever reasons, later on that night, my wife ended up having to rush me back to the hospital. And because of the seriousness of my condition, they ended up keeping me Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday evening. And I convinced them Wednesday to allow me to go and address the IFBB, that I wouldn't be able to compete. And they did that under the agreement that I would return Thursday morning to complete my tests. Thursday I went back in. They kept me for a few hours. They ran more tests. I haven't got the result of those tests yet, and they released me. And I went to the show Friday, and I addressed the public Saturday night. And, you know, it was a bad decision on my part to try and mask what happened. You know, I regret that now. It was a bad decision to take on the 2 people. I should have just gave them the card, but of course, you know, hindsight is worth a million words, and I can't relive the situation or change it. Because of it, you know, I was forced not to be able to compete, and I guess probably because of me going back in the gym and acting like nothing happened, it caused speculations that, you know, the whole situation didn't happen. But basically the speculations are coming from people who don't really care for me or respect me anyway, which don't really bother me. everyone who knows me or respects me know completely that, you know, it's not a lie. But then again, in 1994, people were speculating that I faked my car accident and that, you know, I just didn't want to compete, you know, in Olympia at that time. And basically my comment to them is, you know, I don't really care. At first it bothered me that, you know, they didn't believe me, but, you know, they really should be more or less happy that I wasn't able to compete. I know they were speculating, saying that I wasn't in condition, and that's the reason why I withdraw. But once they buy the On the Road to the video 1997, they'll witness how I looked that Monday, and they'll know that, you know, I was nowhere near out of shape and completely in command of striking range. And I've made my decision already, along with Charles Glass, that we will assault next year's contest, is that we basically are just declaring war. I feel very motivated and amped after seeing the competition, and I feel that I can do very well against him. So come 1997, I will be entering the Ironman, and I will be making it 5 times that I've won that contest. The next week I will be in the 1998 Arnold Classic, and I will make that the 2nd time that I've won that show. I will enter the San Jose Pro Show the weekend after that, and I will make that the 2nd time that I've won that show. And I will enter the 1998 Mr. Olympia, wherever it is, and I will be victorious, and I will win that show. As I promised the audience and the media, you can take my word on it as an athlete, as a man, as a Christian, and as a force of nature, that I guarantee all that I say will be true, and I will prove it. I have no doubt in my mind. And if you do, just show up at any of those shows and you'll find out. And if you don't believe me, then bring your ass and you'll find out what happens.
My name is Pano Fragulis, and I'm Chris Cormier's trainer, and I work with him on training, nutrition, and his whole preparation for the 1997 Mr. Olympia. I also work with him for the Canadian Pro bodybuilding contest last May and the Night of the Champions contest, which he placed 3rd and 1st. And I work with him in very close with his training and nutrition, as I've said. The main thing that we try to do this time is preserve as much muscle mass as we could, and so he can get bigger and fuller this time for the Olympia, and we succeeded on that. Right now he weighs about 8 to 9 pounds heavier that he appeared on stage on the New York City Night of the Champions show last May, and we're very happy about it. He looks already much better than he appeared on stage at the New York show, and we look forward to very good placement at the Olympia this year. Right now, after he's doing his first warm-up set on leg presses, he's spending 5 minutes on the bicycle, warming up a little bit, and increase his body temperature, his stretches, so he can be ready for serious training. Now Chris is ready for his 2nd heavy set of the leg presses. This is going to be the last one too. We're trying to do as many reps as possible. It's Monday before the contest, and right now what we need for is to decrease his glycogen stores. Go Chris. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Let's go. Don't look at me. Come on, let's go. Big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Come on. Suck it up. Come on, Chris. Let's go. 1. Big one right here. 2. That's 3 big ones. 3. Yep, double. Let's go. Give me another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 13, 14, 15. Come on. Go.
Suck it up.
Come on, you got 5 more at least. Let's go.
Let's go round.
16, 17, 18.
Squeeze.
19.
Squeeze.
20. Squeeze hard. 1.
Well, this year I used a nutritionist and a trainer. His name is Pano Fagulis, and he helped me put on some extra weight. Last year when I started training with him before the Night of Champions, my lean body mass must have been like 230-something pounds, and now it's up to 246. So I think I'll be able to come in a little bit heavier and harder due to the different training and nutritional strategies that he's using. And it's going to be a good show. It's probably going to be my best Olympia outing yet. So I placed 6th a couple of times and 7th last year. So I'm looking to move up into the 4th and 5th spot, or maybe even better. We'll see. We've just been training a lot heavier in a lot stricter form with a lot of forced reps, and the intensity has been up higher than ever in my life. So it's been the best training year I've ever had. Myself and Robbie Robinson and Pano have all been pushing it pretty hard for the last few months, so I think you'll see a big difference.
1, 16, 17, 18. Let's go. 2 more. 19, 20.
Four days, boys and girls. 4 days, gonna rock and roll once again.
Seven, 8. Straight forward. 1. Let's go. 10. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 20. Come on.
Turn your fingers straight forward, me, bro. Turn them back down, you go. Whoa.
Put your legs, Chris.
Got to take in about 3 packages of proton right after your workout. All right, enough secrets for today.
my weight right now, it's a couple days out from the contest. I would put it about 254, 255, and right now I've depleted for a few days. So I think once I get the carbs back in me in the next couple of days, I should be hopefully on stage at about close to 260, 250, 257, 258, something like that. And as opposed to previous contests, I feel that according to the feedback I get, and of course somewhat assessing my own condition, that I'll be, I think, better than ever, to be honest with you. But it's 2 days away yet, and you just have to wait to see what happens that day. But I'm confident that with Chris's help, that I'll be on the money. So, and as far as where I am, as far as the Arnold Classic, which was in March of this year, compared to that, I think I'll be around the same weight, around 260. But I think I'll be a tad tighter and maybe a little more complete and refined. Well, I look at each contest as a new opportunity to display your condition as opposed to previous shows, and bodybuilding is all about bodybuilding, building your body for the next contest, and I don't really put any credence in the politics, because I know that people haven't done. For instance, last year at the Olympia I didn't do real well, but then at the Arnold Classic I turned around and finished high. So I feel that if you come in at the best shape you can, that the judges will place you, where you need to be or where you should be in their minds. And I can't worry about politics, because if I do that, I have to worry about politics. I have to worry about my own condition. It's just too much to worry about. I just have to take care of myself and come in the best I can, and then leave it up to the judges. Well, as far as my profession, I'm a professional bodybuilder, and I don't do any outside training or any outside work other than that. I have a contract with Weider right now, so that's as far as my employment, and of course the guest postings and all that type of thing. But as far as myself, well, I've been bodybuilding consistently since 1990, so that's 7 years now, and I've been a professional bodybuilder since I won the Nationals in '93, so my first contest was in '94, so this is really, I guess, my third year as a pro. Well, the first Olympia, my first opportunity to compete in the Olympia, I placed 7th, and then the last year, because of disqualifications and whatnot, I ended up 10th. And I was at my worst last year. As far as hardness in that, I may have been as hard as I've ever been, but as far as fullness and everything, which plays a large part in hardness, I was at my worst. So I just overdid things and didn't do it right. But I got back on the right track this year, obviously with Chris's help and things. So I feel confident that it'll be better than ever this year. So we'll see. Well, obviously my wife has been with me since in 1989, actually, when we met, and she's been the largest part of where I am today, not only in my personal life, but also as far as bodybuilding goes. I would have made many mistakes in life in general had she not been there, and so she's been the definite largest factor in where I am. And Chris has been with me since '92, and he knows my body inside and out, and he knows what reacts with me and what doesn't work, and the things we need to do to get better, and that's why every year I have gotten better. I feel my contest weight has gone up, my condition's always been that much better because of him knowing me so well and being able to manipulate things in the right direction, and obviously without his help I wouldn't be in the position I'm in.
Well, I helped Mike with his diet, outlining it to start with for the last 12 weeks before contest, and more important, just changing things as he changes, or I guess if he doesn't change. So if he's looking worse, just change things, and if he's looking good, just let them keep going. And for this contest, it's hard to pinpoint. You can't pinpoint what someone has done different, because like Mike said, I've known him for 5 years, so I know a lot about his body and how it reacts and things. So it's really me understanding how his body works and peaks better. And if you're aware of how somebody peaks better and the way their body works, then in years' time you should be able to help the person get better and not just stay the same. So a lot of the things that we've done for this contest just comes from experience, from maybe making mistakes from last contests, or little things that have helped them stay bigger, fuller in the off season or pre-contest. It's hard to just pinpoint, put a finger on something and say, well, he's much better this time because he ate red meat. If somebody tells you that, they don't know what they're talking about. So it's just a lot of little things, changes that add up at the end of a long period to a better physique.